we in the industry, whatever role we play, I think have to ensure that we stand up and support the integrity of our industry and support people so that they can find the voice for their talent. We know that our people of colour are underrepresented. I mean, how much data do we need to gather to show that there is an issue? We know there's an issue, we need to continue that work, but we do have to focus on what changes the dial. And I'll tell one small story. There's a chief exec president of FX Channels called John Landgraf, who 5 years ago stood up at Edinburgh Film and Television Festival and said 85% of all of his output was done by white directors, white writers, and he said, I'm ashamed. And in 5 years' time, and in 2022, over 63% of all of their output is now directed by women. It can be done. It is about leadership, it's about accountability, it's about saying, this is where we're going to go, because as Helen said, all of this talent is out there. You just have to open your eyes and find it. So my plea is about leadership, about saying, I will be judged in 5 years' time, if I'm running Cannes Film Festival, about how many of the women directors, people of colour, walk up those steps on the red carpet. That is fundamental. In terms of the initiative that we at Time's Up are working on, we know there is still a huge amount of fear around bullying and harassment. It's also why women drop out the system. It's why people of colour drop out the system, because the culture is not one that is welcoming or conducive, I believe, to the expression of creative talent. And so, whilst we've done a huge amount of work, and across all of our partners, we've done a massive amount of work around guidance, around providing advice, helplines and support, we know that many, many people suffer in silence. And so what we have proposed in the UK, and we work very closely with our colleagues in Hollywood, the Hollywood Commission, is to set up a new body, the Independent Standards Authority, where you can go to and say, I've been bullied or I've been harassed, and this is my experience, and we will then put together investigations and hold people to account. Because most people do not complain in the course of the production because they're too frightened of losing their jobs. They don't trust the processes, even though a huge amount of work has been done. If you have an independent body that has the highest standards of confidentiality, linked to it being run by lawyers who specialize in this area, we believe we will bring around change. We've just launched that a few weeks ago, and all of the major broadcasters, Netflix, Amazon, Apple, are all now coming on board, as well as all of the talent agents and the producers. I think that is an intervention which is about accountability. And we in the industry, whatever role we play, I think have to ensure that we stand up and support the integrity of our industry and support people so that they can find the voice for their talent. And that's what we're working on at the moment.
Did you have... No.
No, I'm just waiting for... I can definitely comment on it if you want.
Go for it.
No, but I think as a WIFT president, I don't know how many calls I have every week or now Zoom meetings with people who have problems that are not of a legal character. They need just to talk to someone, or they just want to know how to navigate in the industry because there are no descriptions, because it's a lot of silent knowledge how you do things, and also these kind of things that you don't dare to complain because you're afraid of being punished. I think if we could professionalize what we talk about around the coffee machines, because it is part of our profession, and culture, just because we work in culture doesn't mean we have a good culture. Culture is something we create every day, and that's why I talk a lot about love, because I think to talk about love, that we take care of each other, because it's already a very heavy work we do in our industry. It's not easy for anyone. It's really what's happening in the world right now. The landscape is changing. We don't know what rules will be tomorrow, and it makes it even harder. Can I continue? Yeah, because what I'm thinking of when we talk about these things, because I'm so proud of being Swedish, actually, connected to the Swedish Film Institute. And I found out, and Anne-Marie, who's sitting there, she was part of the first research for gender equality in 2002, that this work has been going on for many years, means something. And sometimes it can be really heavy to be in it. But what worries me today, so even if we are challenging you, working for these institutes, it scares me more if you would disappear. So when we criticize, I think it is because we want to make sure we will still have these public funding bodies, because in this landscape, and I think Helge wants to add something to it, or yeah?
Well, I just want to endorse that ensuring that there are public funders to support filmmakers is fundamental, and certainly the British Film Institute, we do a huge amount of work to ensure that we try and safeguard that, but we know we're in very challenging economic times.
We are, but then also we need to prove the relevance of these public funding bodies, and the relevance, I think, will be proved that you can reflect the society we are living in. With Helge is thinking. I'm not taking over your role, but I can see that he's thinking.
No, this is all fine. That makes total sense. I just wanted to pick up on Heather's comment and point out that in Germany there's an independent body that deals with sexual harassment, discrimination in the field of theater, film, and music industry, and that's under the umbrella of the German Film Academy and the Ministry of Culture, run by industry bodies. And they started that work like a good 5 years ago, I would say, have really made a lot of impact and really shifted the perception of those fields which weren't really, known, but didn't have any presence. And so that's shifted a lot. Just awareness, possibility of speaking anonymously, getting legal advice, being heard, being taken seriously, has shifted a lot.
Yeah.
And these are cases that are, of course, coming back to us also as public funds. We, once we become aware of it, we can't make it unheard. So we have to find a position, we have to take a position. It's really complicated, but also challenging processes that make us grow in the end. Again, also as an organization, because with every complicated case, you grow somehow, you learn. And I just wanted to add that, and for the public funds, relevance. Relevance can be very different things, but specifically, I think when it comes to relevance in terms of diversity and inclusion, development is a key thing, because that's where it all starts. That's where the access into the industry and the way we speak to each other, we work with each other, that's the starting point of everything. So we need to take possibly greater care of looking into development, how we open up development strands, how do we make sure that established filmmakers can work with new filmmakers, that voices are crossing paths and get in a field of vision. So creating a field of vision in general, I think, across a region in our case, is a major task, and a task I quite like to take on actually, because there's a big win in it. That's a good thing. It's good news. There's something to win.